What's going on, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm using the mic that's on this camera that's on top of my computer. I don't have the headset on today. But anyways, welcome to my channel. I'm the Bonafide Hustler, and on a part-time basis, I am selling things that I find from garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and thrift stores. I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, my antique booth, Craigslist, and another consignment store in town. Anyways, I'm one of the owners of the Green Room University. You can check it out down below. It's the second link. But today on this video, I'm going to be talking to you about 5 reasons why your eBay sales may be slow. So it's a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. If it gets kind of windy, then let me know. I am outside my front yard, my driveway. I live in a cul-de-sac, so it might kind of look weird. But anyways, it's a beautiful day outside. I had to get outside, and I wanted to shoot this video. So hopefully you can hear me. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, so let me know. It might get kind of windy here and there, so we'll try to work with it. Anyways, yeah, I'm not in the Bonafide Hustler office. It's just I could not be in there today. I have to be outside more. One of the things I'm trying to do more next year, I get out a lot, but I want to get out a lot more next year and do a lot more videos outside next year. So let's kind of jump into the video and the content real quick. And before we get into the real nitty gritty, it's important to consider that if you need to work on any kind of platform, right, whether it be merch or FBA or anything like that, constant input is definitely kind of like an assumed thing going on when you're dealing with eBay or Amazon or merch or anything. Some sort of constant input is definitely needed in order, how do I say it? It's kind of like partnering up with, a bigger like if you have a company, if you have a product, you're probably going to put it in the hands of somebody that's constantly like putting hashtags on Instagram, constantly doing this, because that's who you want to partner up with. And it's no different than you're a $1 billion company or $1 million company like eBay or Amazon. You're going to want to reward the people that do constant types of input, or at least that's my speculation. So that means getting back to your people accordingly, when you get messages or questions, making sure to do a couple listings a day if you can, right? Or maybe all the way up to 10 listings if you have a store that's like maybe 500 or something like that. But either way, some sort of constant input per day, as opposed to maybe 4 times a month, or like maybe only on the weekends. So be thinking about those kind of things when I go through this. Now we're going to be talking about the reasons why your eBay sales may be slow, and one of the primary reasons, outside of the obvious reason, which is Amazon's taking customers away from eBay, it's pretty clear, is that maybe the customers aren't finding your items, right? So that's something to be considered, and so we're going to be talking about that right now. Number 1 is incorrect keywords. I do have a little list right here, and I'm going to look at it periodically. So anyways, number 1 is incorrect keywords, and that can be pretty simple. Like, think about it as you only have X amount of characters to really put the most hard-hitting keywords into your eBay listing, right? So you definitely don't want to be putting keywords like good condition or look or check this out or anything like that. You got to be putting super highly descriptive keywords so that when a person goes into eBay and types in whatever, it could be Levi's 501 jean indigo finish, skinny, then that's what they want, right? And so if you don't have those keywords in there, and you have keywords like look and great condition and all this kind of stuff, the wind is kind of picking up. But if you have keywords like that, how are they supposed to find your item? So you have to start thinking, and I've actually talked to an eBay specialist about some of these things we're talking about today, and keywords were one of the main things that she told me on the phone. She's like, look, you have to definitely get your keywords in order to rank better into eBay. So those kind of keywords are going to be like brand, right? Model, variant. Variant means like, you can have a model of something, but a variant can be a completely different color or something like that. Anyways, color, model number, that can be really important as well. What else here? Gender, like if you're dealing with clothing, gender is really important. Even though it's in the actual drop-down menu, still gender is important to be putting on the actual listing, the top title. What else we got? Like keywords that are pertinent to like the thing. Like if you're dealing with a really awesome leather boot and it has like 9 eyelets and it laces all the way up, you might want to put lumberjack, right? If it looks like a lumberjack boot. You might want to put work boot if it looks like a work boot. So you got to think about that type of stuff. And yeah, someone in the feed said misspelling. Yeah, misspelling is definitely a big thing. Abbreviations of certain things. If you're putting in things like good condition, that's not a good one. But if you put things like good cond, C-O-N-D, that's even worse. So you definitely don't want to do that kind of stuff. But remember, brand, model, gender, size, color, variant, code, extra keywords, code being like, you know, CCD, TRV, 615, you know, for a Sony camcorder, or DCR, TRV, whatever for, you know, a different one. But you want to be putting those things in, because when someone goes into eBay and they want to do some sort of like high 8 to, or VHS to high 8 video transfer, whatever, they just want to video transfer stuff from a tape to like a DVD, for example. They can be typing in like high 8, you know, CCD, TRV, whatever they want when they're looking for that Sony kind of camcorder. Of course, they're going to be presented with, you know, probably 300 listings or so, but that's aside the point. The fact is, you want to be part of that 300. You want to come up in those keywords. So very important. Number two, right? Number two, our pictures are really, really, really important. I mean, you hear this like day in, day out, but even for the simplest things, when I have something so small that I'm taking a picture of and it only has like 3 angles to it, I'm trying to think what comes to mind here. Like printer ink, expired printer ink has like 4 sides to the box. You know, everyone knows what it looks like, but I still snap 12 pictures, right? I just do duplicates, or I'll spin it a different way. I'll take a, you know, shot. I'll spin it this way, take a shot. I'll take a shot of the barcode. It doesn't matter, because I'm trying to smoke up 12 pictures on eBay. That's super, super important. Now, what's equally as important is getting that background corrected, right? So if you do a clothing or something like that, there are 2 ways to really do the background. One is to get like a mannequin in a really cool, interesting kind of like non-distracting background, maybe a white background. Some people do wood. If you do a flat lay kind of system, then you're going to have to hit it with a different kind of lighting system. But either way, a flat lay is pretty good too, as long as you keep the background pretty consistent, right? You don't want really crazy things in the background. And if your background is crazy, you're going to want to figure out how to really do things like portrait mode, or things where you really mess with the macro setting on a camera to where it brings the actual thing that's in focus to the foreground and it blurs out the background. So if your background's really crazy and there's nothing you could do about it, then you probably want to look into doing that. Portrait mode on an iPhone 7, I think it's there, and iPhone 7 Plus and iPhone 8 and 8 Plus have it as well. Pretty interesting, you know, thing to look at. So lighting is a big one too. Like, you could have all the best pictures, you know, you could have 12 pictures, right? But if the lighting isn't good and they can't see the divots or ruts or patina of the object or rips, tears, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? The lighting can mask a lot of things. So the lighting has to be good. So the person might have landed on your listing and they just thought that the picture sucked. And that's not good. So you can have all your keywords perfect. You could have 12 pictures up, but if your lighting's not good, well, that could be a reason why people aren't landing, or like converting. Your listing isn't converting over to makes you money. So here we go. Another one. Bad angles. That's a pretty interesting one. Shadows are interesting. Going back to lighting is, you ever seen sometimes when you put a certain object in a certain light versus another, it might look orange in one light and red in another? That's really confusing to people, right? So you gotta have consistent lighting, right? If you're gonna shoot it and it looks red and it is red to your eyes, you gotta make sure to keep it red, right? In all 12 pics somehow, right? So keep that in mind. Bad angles are pretty interesting as well. There's certain angles that just are bad. They just don't work, right? So that's a big thing too. I also try to get the object to smoke up the entire picture, right? And if you cannot get that done, you can get into the edit tool of eBay and you can crop it to fit exactly the square that's in the picture. So that's important, right? Because if you have this big square and then your object's like in the very, very tiny middle part of it, there's a lot of wasted dead space. Even if it's non-distracting background, it's still wasted in dead space. You got to bring that object as prominent to the person when they're looking at your listing. Number 3, your relisting schedule is a little bit too relaxed. Think about like GTC, 30 days, things like that. GTC is called good till canceled. You know, some people do that. Some people have 30-day buy it now, 30-day auctions. I don't ever do 30 days, so I don't really even know about this anymore. But what I'm trying to say is, don't make your listings too long. I opt for, you know, maybe 5 or 7 day, and sometimes even 1 to 3 day auctions if I really want to. But 5 or 7 day buy it nows, I alternate with those 2 things, and I think that's really important. Now, of course, if you have a store that's 500 items deep or 1,000 or 2,000 items deep, every time you relist something, it's going to start creeping up on you. Even with the best store subscriptions, that can catch up to you, unless there's some sort of floating around promotion or whatever. But even then, it doesn't. You need a sustainable type of kind of methodology to keep that high relist kind of thing going on. So one of the things that I'm experimenting right now is like relisting it like every 5 days or so, but also, and I learned this in the green room, who learned it from someone else, but maybe adjusting the prices like a penny or two each time I do a relist, like adjust it a little bit, right? Something I'm trying out. I don't know the end of that story right now, but that's something I'm trying. I'm always trying something out to get more sales, right? Even on a part-time basis, I'm still trying things. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about, so think about maybe switching it up a little bit. If you have an eBay store, you get the ability to do bulk edits and stuff. And bulk edits are really fun because it saves a lot of time. Instead of going to each and every listing, you're like, okay, I want this one to be 5 days, but I want those to be 30 days. Like, you can actually do it in bulk listing. You can highlight things with check marks, and you can edit whatever you've done in check marks, you can edit that in bulk. So think about that. Number 4, the shipping is not fast. There's a lot of factors in this one, so bear with me, right? Number 4, here's some reasons why your items might not be selling. Here are many reasons, right? But they're all going to number 4. Your shipping is not fast enough. That's important to consider. Your handling's too long. You don't have returns. All this stuff can affect whether a person lands on your listing or not. And then when a person lands on a listing, you can kind of think about it this way. When a person goes to Amazon, for example, we're not talking about eBay right now. Let's say someone wants a good buying experience. They go to Amazon, they're on the Prime page, they have the search bar, and typically they're putting in something. For me, someone like me, let's think, like, what's the last thing I looked at? Like protein bars for a trip, right? I was going to go on a trip, and I was like, I don't want to spend that much money on stupid food. Like, I'll bring some protein bars just in case I can't locate some good food. So I go to Amazon, I type in protein bars gluten-free, and it's like, I'm probably not going to be going to page 3 or 4 or 5, maybe not even page 2. So you really want your item in relation to eBay should be popping up on page 1, right? Really, like, page 1 is where you want to be. So that, some of the ways you can get into page 1, 12 pictures. You can get your shipping a little bit quicker, right? In fact, if you pair up and you go priority on all your stuff, then you can get a fast and free logo as well. Like, if you do free shipping, I know that, then a free shipping logo comes up. If you do fast and free, it's like a logo plus a van, I want to say. It says fast and free. Or I think fast might be the handling time. Either way, there are a lot of ways to kind of rank yourself higher in search. And one of those ways to be considering is, pairing up with a quicker shipping service, shortening your handling time to maybe 1 day, right? If you're at home all the time, or you don't see yourself going out for 2 days or 3 days at a time, for like a sourcing trip or somewhere else, but you're at home a whole lot, you might want to consider doing 1 day handling. So that's definitely important to consider. If you have no returns, I have no returns on about half my goods. I have returns on about the other half. So having returns definitely is good for buyer confidence. And I think you can get your returns from like 7, 14, and 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. So consider that. You can also, if you're scared about getting a return back, you can also kind of combat that with things like, what is it? There's like what is it called? A restocking fee, right? You can do a restocking fee, I think, of 5, 10, 15, 20, or something like that. So either way, you can get a restocking fee too. So if someone returns something, charge them a restocking fee, and it kind of makes the whole ordeal worth your time. Consider free shipping too if you're in the middle part of the USA, or if you're just not too concerned about shipping in the first place, and you have a good grasp about what items belong in what boxes, and what that box or that weight might be to the opposite end of the country. Roll that into your price and then put free shipping, right? I have free shipping on every single one of my things, by the way. And I like it a lot, but I'm also in the middle part of the country. So I do, every now and then, if something goes to Alaska or Hawaii, like, yeah, okay, it might suck a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal, because the majority of the stuff that gets bought in my store, 95, 99% of it will be bought in the 48 states, right? All right, number 5. So hopefully you're finding value in this show, by the way. And if you are, make sure you hit the like button. Very, very important. If you can hear me well, please tell me, because I know I've been rambling and ranting, and it's been windy. So, all right, so number 5, and this is the worst of all, okay? But don't fret, okay? Because this could be the worst case scenario, what I'm about to discuss with you guys. But number 5 are your products aren't the right products. So no matter if you have 12 picks, all right, you have the best keywords, no shadows, awesome lighting, all your drop-down menus are perfect, right? You have free shipping, you have expedited shipping, you have 1 day handling. I mean, you got every duck in line. It doesn't matter if your item sucks, all right? So that is something that's a little eye-opening. Not a lot of people want to hear that. And I won't name any names or anything like that, But in my experience dealing with the green room and, you know, just being on eBay myself, and I don't have the greatest store on earth, okay, but I do know a quality product when I see one, okay? So when some people in the past have been like, hey, look at my store, what's wrong with my store? I just started. I would say 40% of those people I've like written back and gone like, hey, look, I really think you're reselling the wrong items, the wrong caliber of items, right? And it doesn't mean like follow what I'm doing. It just means find something a little bit more marketable, okay? And a market is just what it seems like. It's what it sounds like. It's a market. A market means people barter and trade. Market, you know, stock markets, buying and selling, liquidity. And so if you have a good and you present it to market, but nobody wants it, then there's no liquidity on your money, first of all. Second of all, you get frustrated, right? So that's not good. So yeah, think about that. Here are some of the reasons why your products might not be the right products, right? You might have ordinary products. And ordinary products are as simple as like a Marona flannel from Target, right? It's just ordinary. Target's all over America. A Marona flannel, doesn't matter really how awesome it is or whatever, it's still a Marona flannel, right? Number two is these items just don't have really any value. You can think of, you know, another example could be like just random trinkets made in China, right? And you see them at the Hallmark store, and you know what might have been a $15 purchase or a $20 purchase from you, and you're like, that was dumb, and like a year ago I'm going to try to move it on eBay. You might not be able to even get $5 for that thing, right? Because it's just no real associated value to it. And then the last one is it could be super mass-produced products. Like what you have could be mega mass-produced stuff that nobody really wants. So you got to consider that as well. Things like, you know, Beanie Babies. Like Beanie Baby stuff is pretty mass-produced. I mean, there's some that are outliers, but for the most part, it was just a craze, right? So you have to think about those kind of things. And the solution is very obvious. If you find yourself in that scenario, first of all, you won't know that if you're in that scenario or not without someone else's help. So maybe you go into your private Facebook group or your public Facebook group and maybe ask a question. Can people look at my store, put a store link? Can people look at my store and tell me what they think? Like just like that. Don't say, do you think my items are ordinary or whatever? Because no one's going to want to say anything bad back to you, right? But just say, hey, look at my store. If you have any tips, let me know. And you'll get back all kinds of tips. And some of these tips might remind you of this video already. But a real good person or a friend or something like that, and those around in the reselling community will tell you as it is, like how it is. So that's important to consider, that a lot of times you won't be able to tell if your products suck. Someone else is going to, or some group or someone else or a group of people will have to tell you that they're not the right products. So what else here? Solution. Yeah, so just the obvious solution is just go back to the drawing board. Once you understand, like, okay, you know, a consensus of people have told me that my products aren't good, you got to go back to the drawing board. The drawing board means maybe watch more YouTube videos, maybe adjust the caliber of the people that you watch. Like you go like, all right, you know, I've been listening to this person and it just doesn't working out for me. So I need to readjust, find another YouTuber that I like, and then maybe that'll help me out. Guides are really important. Paid guides, free guides, whatever. Paid groups, free groups, also a good help. Yeah, so that's definitely one of those things. We have an awesome guide that's down below. It's the first link. You can go check it out. I don't think this is the right video to kind of toot my own horn or anything like that, but there is a guide, first link down below, that you should check out, and it'll show you high quality products that you can start selling on eBay, bread and butter items. So that's really important. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to just kind of blast past the video and leave a little bit of room for Q&A so I can help you guys out. And if you guys are wondering, like, dude, you have it all figured out, like what's going on? I don't have everything figured out, but I got a lot of things figured out with eBay, at least on a part-time basis, and I feel comfortable where I am. However, I'm always trying new things, and never feel like I am the best at it, right? I'm always trying to learn more and more things. So just like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, like one of the things that I'm trying as of yesterday was something that I learned, you know, a day or two before. Actually, no, the thing that I learned yesterday and I started executing on, I learned it like truly yesterday. Like I saw it in the green room, decided to try it out, and I'm gonna, you know, evaluate my store based upon that. So it's something, you know, I'm just part of a group and something I saw and I decided to implement it. It was pretty cool. So I implemented it on 143 of my listings and see what happens. Anyway, so that's pretty much the video. I want to leave a little bit of Q&A room. You know, like I said, one of the most important things, and I really wish people in my room, in the green room, would do this a little bit more, would be to just post your store and ask for advice. There's nothing wrong with asking for advice, or like, hey, just check out my store if you have any tips or anything, like, you know, real short tips, whatever, let me know. We see that every now and then in the green room. I would like to see it more. So if you're a green room member, maybe you're a beginner or you're an intermediate, and this sounds like it would be of value to you, you have my permission to put that stuff in my room. And I would love to, you know, look at other people's stores and help them out any way I can. So anyways, let's see what else we got here. All right, more questions. Justin Packman says, do you edit a listing a lot to make them rank higher? Played around with it some and haven't noticed much difference. I am really focused on trying to get somewhere between 1 and 5 listings up a day. That's just me. Like I said, if anyone knows about my quest in 2018, it's probably going to be maintaining a store with 200 super high quality items that are going to pay me somewhere between $35 or more. Like, that's just what I want as a part-time thing. It's all I can really handle with all the other stuff going on. So that's just, it's the part, like, having a 200 item store where every month maybe I sell 20% of my inventory, or maybe more than that. I would be like thrilled to have that. Like, that would be a lot of fun. And so I would like to figure out a way to get to that point and manage that. Like, that's just what I want. Yeah, so to answer the question, do I edit a listing a lot to make them rank higher? Every now and then, but not a whole lot. It might be something I need to do more, but it's not something I do a whole lot of right now. Chris, do you ever ship international if the customer does not live in a country that is supported by GSP, Global Shipping Program? I've had to cancel 3 orders over the weekend. No, GSP is the only thing I deal with. It's super easy. Yeah, the other way is, man, it is just insanely more complicated. I only do GSP. So Global Shipping Program, if you get to the shipping options, there's a little box you can check. Well, I mean, I do templates now, so like I don't ever check that box anymore, but there's a box that you can kind of, I think there's a box you can check, or a drop down menu saying, I would like to ship this using GSP, like Global Shipping Program. So anyways, Tom Sawyer says, give the people what they want. That's right. Okay, Thriller Gorilla Picker says, nice to see you in your element. What's up in good old Austin? Nothing's happening. I mean, it's been really amazing this entire time. It's been like 75, almost 80 degrees, like since the Thanksgiving break, and it just feels good to be out here. So yeah, one of my things I want to do more in 2018 is get out more. I get out a lot already, but I want to get out a lot more because I just think it just makes me happy. So okay, what else we got here? Treasure Hustlers, how was the music festival? The music festival was freaking killer. I didn't film it this year, but I filmed it last year. It's freaking awesome. So anyways, Melissa Francis says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. It is my birthday. I like the shirt, bro. Justin Packman. That's right. This is the official Bonafide Hustler merchandise. It actually says it right there. Bonafide Hustler. See it? Right there. There's my truck and a little Pac-Man theme. It's the Cheddar Quest. It's something that I wear almost every Friday, but not every Friday. But yeah, it's the Cheddar Quest. Is what I hunt for on Saturdays. I hunt for cheddar, for money. So, okay. Paul Tidwell, on keywords, does eBay search handle punctuation, hyphens, and apostrophes? All right, so if you put in something like, okay, let's take it for an example, CCD TRV 615, right, which is a camcorder, which I just sold the other day, actually. CCD, it's supposed to be really, like on the back of the Sony product, if you look at it, CCD-TRV or CCD-TRV 615. You could also put CCD TRV 615. It's going to find the same exact listing, typically almost every single time. So does the punctuation matter? I mean, dashes, I have not seen any kind of correlation between slow listings and fast listings. Anywhere there'd be a hyphen. I can't think of where there'd be a hyphen. Here's something that's interesting. Like, there's a shoe called 510, right? And some people spell it out 5.10, and that's what the shoe says on it, 5.10. But sometimes if you flip it solo, or say 510, FIVETEN. So when I make the listing for eBay, I put 5.10. I leave a space, then I put 5 FIVETEN stealth C4 rock climbing shoe, right? For example, black, gray, leather, like important things like that. I ain't gonna put like, check this out, look, amazing quality. Like, I'm not gonna put that. Like, you got to put defining definite characteristics of the product into the keywords. So I haven't seen anything yet. But then again, since that is a defining part of the like the 510 rock climbing shoe, 5.10, if you just put 510, I don't think the eBay listing would figure that out. I think we're just going to think that's the model of it or something like that. So there's certain times when the hyphen or the dash means a lot, especially if it's in the brand's name. So, oh, happy birthdays from everybody here. Who's older, me or my brother? I am. Thank you so much. Good Used Goods just super chatted me $5 for my birthday, which I think when it translates to me, it might be like 3 or something like that, maybe 4. I'm buying a beer with it. Thank you so much. Okay, happy birthday. Here comes Alexander Manuel's comment. Ever sell a Walkman and a couple days later they say, it ate a tape and it wants a return. Happy birthday. No. In fact, when I have good Walkmans and stuff like that, which is semi-rare because the right kind of Walkman, I would much rather send in a micro cassette recorder or things like that. It's a little bit harder to find a good working Walkman. And if you do find a good working Walkman, it's a lot better to pair it up with the right kind of headphones as well. If you got the freaking belt clip, that's even more bonus. And that kind of item really honestly belongs on Amazon more than anything if you're not restricted, which I don't think anybody's really restricted on Walkmans. Like that should still be kind of like a free reign kind of thing. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't ever get returns from Walkmans that eat tapes. The only thing I see when something eats a tape is typically a boombox. All right. So if you guys are hustlers out there and you hustle boomboxes, God, please don't tell me it is a huge lie if you say 80% of the boomboxes that you buy have working tapes, like with tape decks. There's no way. There's no way. I've hustled a lot of boomboxes. I put a lot in my booth. There is no way that it's 50-50 at best. Come on, someone please agree with me on this. It's 50-50 at best on a boombox. It doesn't mean it's not worth anything. It's just a working tape player or not working tape player. That's all the argument is. So anyways, Vincent Grisani, it's a great question, Vincent. Do I list on a phone or ever or just a PC? I list on PC. It's faster. I shoot higher resolution pics and put it on an SD card. On a bored evening or whatever, when I'm just sitting down or maybe at a coffee shop with high speed internet, I'll slap in fact, the card is sitting in here right now. I'll just take it out. Who cares? But yeah, this card right here, so it's a 32 gig card. It's my blue card. And every time I fill it all the way up, I put it into my hard drive. But this is just a class 10 card. I put all my eBay pictures on here, shot with a 16.1 megapixel Sony, almost an SLR camera. I like it a lot. It's got a really fast focus ring, and like everything's super fast with it. So I like it. It's just the one I've always been using for like the past 5 years. Now, if you do want to check out that camera, I don't have it on Amazon affiliate link or anything like that. So whatever. I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's a Sony NEX-F3. So I like that one a lot. Like it's just one of my first vlogging cameras, and it just works. It just works. So an NEX-F3. Okay, so Good Used Goods says, I wish it was even 50-50 on the boom boxes. He says 80% of the boom boxes I end up fixing. So there you go. Lots of funny comments, mainly dealing with birthday stuff. Gentex512 says, I love that camera. It makes such good quality videos. That isn't the camera that I actually vlog with, Gentex512. And by the way, if everything still goes right, Gentex512 will be on the ride along this coming weekend. So I don't ever cross my fingers for anything. I don't hope. I'm not a hoping kind of guy. Like you just do, right? But I will cross my fingers on this one. So, yeah. So the camera I do use on my vlogs, it's not this one right here, right? This one right here is a, how is this thing? It's a Logitech C920, which is the best broadcast mic slash, not the best mic, but the best camera that you can buy for sure. If you're going to do live videos on YouTube, you got to get a C920. It's awesome. It is rank 1 in Amazon for electronics or video cameras or something. Rank 1. Okay, so let me get back to that question or that remark. So the camera that I do use, all right, for my ride-alongs and stuff like that, is called a Canon G7X. It's a Mark 1 edition, which is cool. It was $208 from a pawn shop, and it's been a really good workhorse. It does have its like quirks, and it's just right now it's kind of annoying because the shutter blades are kind of meshing on top of each other. I don't like it, so it's not quite closing all the way. But either way, great camera. I get more compliments on that camera than like other cameras that I have in my house that are like way more expensive. So like, it's just bonkers, right? If you're gonna get a camera and you want to do YouTube videos and you want to go vlog with it and you want to make it kind of portable, Canon G7X is the best camera. Good Used Goods says, I love my C920. They just released the C922. It does actual 1080 at 60 frames a second. That's amazing. That's awesome. So what else we got here? Happy birthday, bro, Joe Molina. David Graham says happy birthday. All right, so let me see what do we got here. G. Josso says, happy birthday, Chris. Question, I have a vintage three-wheeled bicycle, 1943 Huffy Hoffman Company. What would be a good price range to resell? Usually vintage three-wheel kind of things don't have that great a resale, and the person that's looking for it is such a small, tiny percentage of the people that might end up on Craigslist, because that's ultimately where this thing's probably going to sell. You would never want to like pack one up and throw it onto a UPS or FedEx crate ground, or what is it called, freight charges or whatever. You don't want to do that. The biggest bike here's a fun fact for you. The biggest bike I ever sent off cost me $330 in shipping. It was a Madsen KG271. Look it up right now. If you have a second and you're on your laptop or something, look up a Madsen, MADSEN KG271. And I sold one of those on eBay for like, was it $700 or $800? Yeah, I didn't make much on that sale, which was crazy. I used it for a little bit. It was so annoying though, but I didn't make much on that one. I might have made like $100, maybe 80 at best. But I think I was into it for like 330 in shipping, the eBay fee, which was like 80. So you do the math. But yeah, G. Joss, so if you have more questions about that Huffy Hoffman bike, then send it to me on Bonafide Hustler Facebook. I'll see if I can help you out. Okay. So Gentex512 says, I have an SLR that makes great videos, but there's no way I can vlog or blog with it. That's right. A lot of times when you're doing vlogging, you want something small and compact. It has to be kind of discreet sometimes, because a lot of people out there, vlogging is getting kind of like a little bit more permissible nowadays, but the most permissible way to vlog, honestly, is to get a really awesome phone and just do it that way. So, but if you have to start going into actual cameras, you're going to want to look into an Canon ELPH 110HS, which is super small. It's badass. And then if you want to get into the G7X range, which I think is the ultimate, like, it's really good. A lot of YouTubers, it's like the only one that most YouTubers really use, is the Canon G7X. Okay, so any more? Joe Molina, have I talked about my brand yet? No, I'm still kind of working on a lot of things about it. So anyways, but yeah, the brand is called Strella. So that's coming around eventually. But he was my first actual purchase, was Joe Molina. He bought one of my Strella hats, which was really, really cool. But we did it behind the scenes. It's not like a formal deal. We did it behind the scenes, and he was one of my test people for my Shopify store. So that was interesting. Okay. I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that was the answer. That was a long-winded response to Vincent Grizzani's question, do I list on a phone or ever list with PC? I don't understand how people, for the most part, list on their phones. I know a lot of people do it. I just don't quite get it, because the workflow is so much faster when you can do drag and drop and hold a shift key on a if you're presented with a folder with 100 pictures on there and you got to pick 12. I mean, it's so much easier to just hold down the shift key and drag across and everything like that. People, and also, like, the pictures are always going to be on that card. You can move them to a hard drive. For me, being a content creator, that helps out a lot. I definitely don't want my eBay pictures or anything ending up on my phone or in a cloud somewhere. I just don't want that. I just want it to be on a card and a hard drive somewhere. That's it. So that's another thing, because when I'm doing Instagram posts for my other channels and stuff like that, I don't want to be sifting through eBay items and stuff to find what I did last weekend, at the mountain biking trails, for example. So, and yeah. So, and I also think that when I do it with a phone, it's just not as fast. It's not as fast as doing it with a laptop. Like, I've tried to do it with a phone many times. It's just not as fast. You might be able to do it fast if you have templates and all that kind of stuff set up. To me, it's just not as fast. Like, I can bang out way faster listings while I'm actually doing the laptop. So, someone is asking, oh, here we go. Alex the Pirate. When you initially went full-time, how did you rein in your time? Did you do a daily log and optimize? This is a really interesting question. I mean, when I went full-time initially, I was doing a lot more FBA, right? And I had, what did I have? I mean, I don't think I've ever had more than 230 items in my store at any given time. I was doing a lot more FBA. was doing I wouldn't say a lot more eBay, but a fair amount more eBay. Doing a lot of bikes, that's for sure. Like, it wasn't uncommon to go to the side of my house and see minimum like 15 bikes, like just sitting on the side, like, ready to go. But then I embarked on some other things in business ventures. One of them was building a bike guide. The other one was, forming a green room, right? That was important. And then there's other stuff that I'm working on right now. And there's a workout channel. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And plus, these YouTube videos are good too, because for content creators these days, I mean, they are semi-rewarding in a sense. So, okay, so what else have we got here? But now I'm part-time eBay, but I'm still trying to get my eBay store from where it is right now, 148 listings or something like that. Might be actually 145. I actually had some sales the other day. To 200 high-quality listings. So that's my goal in 2018, is to really, really source much smarter and get 200 badass listings, like, right there. I would also like to have maybe 500 to maybe 1,000 items in my FBA account. That would be pretty cool too. So, I'm working on maybe those two things. It will require a little bit more time, and that's the key, is work smarter, not harder, right? I could definitely get to 200 listings and smoke up 25 hours a week if I wanted to, but that's not what I want. I want to get to 200 listings and maybe do like 15 hours a week or even 10 hours a week. Like, that's what I want. High quality, awesome listings to where there's a couple, sales a day. It'd be pretty cool. If I could get 200 listings and be at a 30% sell-through rate, that would mean 60 have sold throughout the month. And if they're high quality listings and 60 are selling, it's an average of 2 a day. Right, and 2 a day at 35 net profit on each one, like, that's pretty decent. Like that, I could do majority of my fixed costs just on eBay alone. Like, it would be pretty cool. So, anyways, it's kind of a game for me. Like, it's just more of like a loophole game, and see how much I can really do with the least amount of time. Okay, so Gentex 512 says, I'm tired of eBay. The platform is not speaking to me. I need to reach out elsewhere. Before you do that, let's definitely talk this weekend when you're in the hot seat. We're doing a ride along. I can look at your eBay store. I can help you out any way I can. I'll definitely do it for you. Do you ever do 100% buyer paid shipping? No. So, like, I do free shipping on everything that I do. So the shipping is on my hands. But when you do eBay, I was looking at my eBay account the other day, and I think it said like member since maybe 02 or 01. I don't know. It was one of those two. And it doesn't mean I've been selling for such a long time with a ton of items. My feedback's only like, what, 1680 or 1670, something like that. But my point is, I've shipped a lot of things to both coastlines across, the pond. And I have a good idea for, like, the items that I resell, what the perceived shipping will be. And so from there, I can kind of roll it into my price. And, that's what I'm thinking. Anytime that I pick up something at a thrift store or, or a garage sale, I'm thinking these things in my head, like, what's the perceived eBay fee going to be? What can this thing considerably sell for on eBay if we're talking about an eBay item? And then, what's the shipping going to be? So eBay fee, shipping, do I have a box for it, right? Because at certain times I won't pick up an item because it's just annoying to ship off. Skis, right? Really long things. But that's what crosses my mind. That should cross your mind too. You shouldn't just be buying things just because you see them on YouTube videos all the time. You should be buying things because you have the desire to go through the rest of the steps to get that money in your account. That's the only reason you should be hustling certain items, right? So I'm trying to, with my channel, show you as many items as I can with the hopes that you take and pick and choose what you really like and you have the energy for. But this is what I have the energy for. And I figure it's pretty decent items. None of them are ridiculously big. None of them are ridiculously long. They're all pretty decent items to resell. So a lot of times I'll show them on my videos. Now, if an item is extremely large or something like that, typically it's going to be a Craigslist mover, or it's going to be moving in my antique booth. I usually don't put oversized items into FBA, and I usually don't go really, really like large stuff into eBay. So, yeah. Fred Friesch is saying your cheddar merch would probably sell well here in Wisconsin. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I love this shirt. I really, really, really like this shirt. Joe Molina says, I love those ride-along videos. I know. I'm going to get an awesome one banged out this weekend for sure. Dustin Doyle says, I will be changing my inventory to selling lots to selling more lots and higher priced items. I agree, and that's great. Aaron Kluge, I know who's having some eBay kind of woes and stuff like that. What is going on, Aaron? It's good to see you. People like Aaron Kluge are doers, right? Eventually things are going to work out perfectly fine. Aaron Kluge is in the green room, right? And he's a very vocal, he's always typing things out. I mean, he's there like nearly every single day in some sort of way, a post or a comment. And he's just bringing energy to the table, right? And when you get energy to the table, you get results. Either way, you get results. You either start failing quicker or you start succeeding much faster, which is typically the same exact thing, right? You can't really attain good levels of success without failing a bunch, right? But you have to, the way you fail a bunch is you start acting, right? That's the most important thing. Dennis Gill says, ride along and Doppio and tacos after. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be doing with Jen in the car there. So anyways, David Graham says, Bonafide, do you have an idea of the rarity of an 80s model Redline BMX bike? I have one, but don't know too much about it. Send me the pictures behind the scenes at Bonafide House or Facebook. I'll see if I can help you out. But typically an 80s Redline, you know, could be worth some decent coin. It just depends what it really kind of looks like. And I would assume that it's probably a $200 to $400 bike right now, but let's take a look. You can also look up bmxmuseum.com, which is what Thriller Gorilla Picker is saying. That will help you a little bit on identifying stuff, but real market pricing on bikes, vintage bikes, I don't know. With vintage BMX especially, that seems to command pretty decent money for the most part. Like vintage BMX is a lot of fun to mess with. So Redline's a great brand. SE Racing is a great brand. Haro, freaking, you know, GT Performers and all those are really good as well. Treasure Hustler says, normally all Redlines are amazing. Yeah, I mean, current day Redlines, the ones that most people will probably find in their hometown will be a Raid, right? That's probably the most common Redline ever sold in America. It's called a Raid. It's a 20-inch kids bike, not to be confused with an adult bike. Yeah, but a 20-inch kids bike. So I actually sold a Redline Raid 2 months ago, was it? 2 months ago, $50. I picked it up for 10. And the guy that came up was a full-blown adult dude. And I was like, hey, man, it's like kind of meant for kids. And he's like, he got on it, started putting around the cul-de-sac. And I was like, and he goes, I think I can make this work. I'm like, all right, you know, it's not my job anymore. If the person makes a decision based upon me saying it's a kid's bike and still wants to ride it around, whatever. So I just sold it to him. So, all right, so I guess that's pretty, oh, here we go. Flip the Thrift, this is a pretty interesting question. Is there anything that you won't hustle on principle? Yeah, I won't hustle anything that doesn't have a good market. Like, that's just a principle that I always abide by. Like, I find profitable items all the time, okay? Like, I don't bring them home. They're profitable, right? They are profitable. But the question is, how long will you have to wait till you make that money? And that's the ultimate like thing in the decision. It's the reason why I leave money on the table. I leave money at Goodwill. I leave money at these thrift stores that I go to because the money is there. I just want something that turns faster, right? I want a short turn or medium turn item. That's what I'm looking for. That's where the fun is. I don't want something that's going to sell in 4 to 6 months. I just don't want it. So yeah, that's important to consider, is that based on principle, I am looking for something that's very marketable. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. And in fact, I'm going to go rig up a mountain bike and get the hell out of here for my birthday. I'm going to go ride, right? So that's pretty much it. I don't see any more questions. I hope you enjoyed this content. Look, number one thing you can do if you enjoy this content is hit the like button, put more comments below. But also check out that guide, right? Because we talked about 5 reasons why maybe your eBay items aren't selling. And one of the last things I kind of left you guys with was that the items not be the right items, okay? That could be sucky items, like just items with no markets. And so the solution to that is to learn better items. So go check out link 1 down below. It's the 100 amazing items to resell. They're bread and butter items. And the Green Room made this guide. At one point we were charging for it. We don't charge anymore for it. Go check it out. It's free. Put it on your phone, PDF, study it before the weekend, and let me know how you do with that guide. All right, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next Bonafide Hustler video. Take it easy. Goodbye.